They walked into Versailles and stepped into the past at the time slip mystery. What if I told you that some places in the world don't just preserve history, they bend it? That stepping through a door, wandering down a hallway, or walking a garden path could transport you to another time entirely. Today, we re-exploring one of the most astonishing time slip mysteries ever reported, inside the Palace of Versailles. Visitors have claimed to see ghostly courtiers, carriages, and candlelit rooms from centuries ago. Some even insist they walked through the past itself, experiencing life as it was in the 1700s. This is the Noggin Knock, and in this episode, we uncover the strange story of Versailles time slips. The Palace of Versailles isn't just a palace, it's a living monument to history. Built in the 17th century, it was the home of Louis XIV, the Sun King, and witnessed centuries of political intrigue, opulent celebrations, and untold secrets. Hundreds of thousands of tourists walk its halls every year, and yet, some of them report experiences that defy explanation. According to accounts collected over decades, visitors sometimes describe sudden, vivid glimpses of the past, as if the palace itself is replaying history, not just in paintings or exhibits, but around them. One of the earliest reports came in 1982. A couple walking through the Hall of Mirrors said they noticed everything was eerily silent. The usual chatter and camera clicks vanished. Then they saw them, people dressed in 18th century court attire, moving gracefully across the hall. Ladies with powdered wigs and elaborate dresses, men with swords and elegant coats. At first, the couple thought it was a historical reenactment. But there were no cameras, no guides, no other tourists nearby. The most chilling moment. One woman in the scene looked directly at them, smiled, and whispered something in French. And then, in the blink of an eye, she disappeared. When the couple blinked, the hall was normal again, bustling with modern visitors. No sign anyone else had seen what they saw. Modern encounters. Over the years, more visitors have reported strange temporal phenomena. A man claimed to walk into the gardens, only to see horse-drawn carriages and courtiers walking among the fountains. A tourist taking photos of the Hall of Mirrors noticed figures in 18th century attire moving between the columns, only visible in the camera's playback. Some report feeling a sudden chill, hearing music from the court, or even catching faint scents of perfume and candle wax from centuries ago. Experts are divided. Skeptics argue it's imagination or fatigue, but many witnesses insist the experiences were too vivid, too real, and too detailed to be mere hallucinations. Time slips, science, are paranormal. Faint distortions in space-time. So what causes a time slip? Some paranormal researchers believe certain locations act as psychic or temporal hotspots, where intense historical energy accumulates. Palaces like Versailles, with centuries of emotion, power, and ceremony, could be recording their past like a crystal. Others propose a scientific explanation, unusual electromagnetic fields, or the brain's tendency to fill in gaps during sensory overload may trick our minds into perceiving another era. Still, the sheer number of independent reports, often overlapping in detail, makes this more than a simple optical illusion. Perhaps the most famous account came from a group of tourists in 2009. They were walking through a rarely visited section of the palace when the air suddenly grew thick, heavy, and silent. Then, before their eyes, noblemen and women appearing as if stepping out of a painting, servants carrying trays. Moving toward a dining hall, music floating softly. The faint sound of harpsichords, one witness whispered. It was like stepping into a painting, into a moment frozen in time. We weren't just observing history, we were inside it. When they exited the hall, everything returned to normal. No staff, no cameras, nothing to explain what they had seen. Versailles is more than a palace. It's a place where the past refuses to remain silent. Whether these experiences are time slips, echoes of history, or paranormal phenomena, one thing is certain. Those who walk through its halls sometimes step out of their own time entirely. Could it be that the palace itself remembers every dance, every whispered secret, every ceremony? And that sometimes History opens a door for us to step through. Tell us in the comments. If you could walk into the past, would you dare? Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell for more mind-bending mysteries on the Noggin Knock. Remember, some places don't just preserve history, they live it. Subscribe and like a head knocker.